Hey everyone, welcome to the Merk-Shop. My name is Merke, and today we're going to be covering improv. So we're going to be looking at how to get started, some history, some tricks and tips, some pros and cons, all that good stuff. So check it out.
This is a series where I look at ideas from philosophy to personal growth, lessons I've learned, but hopefully something you can build upon. Welcome to the Merk-Shop.
Thank you for checking this out. Like I said, we're going to be talking about improv. I'll talk about pros and cons and tips and all that jazz. But first, let's take in a little bit of history and where it came from. So for the history, we start with, in North America, we start with Viola Spolin, who used theater exercise and improv exercises to teach immigrant children. This became very successful, and her son, Paul Sills, took that and took it to kind of middle America collegial world and started teaching fellow classmates and students there. They took that and created what is known as the Compass Players. Now the Compass Players made a whole bunch of storefront theaters and used it to create satire, and over the years it became Second City. So that's kind of where it came and went to, and now it's all over the world. Let's talk about the pros and cons of improv. Improv has its own cons to it. I mean, anyone can do improv, as I said. Really, anyone can do improv. It just depends on the degree you want to be able to work and work with others and push your career. So let's talk about the cons of improv. So the group comes first. It's about your peers and trying to make each other look good and taking care of each other. And so you're not going to stand out as an individual. You're going to have to work your craft and work with others in order to have successful shows. So in improv, another con is it's not really a con. I mean, I think of it as a benefit, but it's training. You need to take classes. You need to study under people. You need to learn the common language of improv. It means classes. That means training. So that takes money in order to do, which some people don't have access to. So in stand-up, you don't need any money. You sign up for an open mic, you get up, you do it, you fail. You can't intern, and it is a lovely way to learn it because you learn the backside of it too. You learn how the business structure kind of works. I was an intern. There's ways you can get classes. It's just it does cost money. One con that I feel is sometimes overlooked is sometimes there's a toxic positivity or like an over salesmanship. Like, hi, we do improv. Today we're going to be doing some improv for you. That can feel a little bit fake and put on for an audience. I can see why some people won't like that. Also within the community of like the yes and kind of approach where everyone's just like, yes and, yeah, let's do it. It becomes almost a religion for some people, and it doesn't have to be, but that just exists. I mean, it's not everyone, obviously, but there is a level of that, of over positivity in order to buy into the group. Like some people treat it like a dating service, unfortunately, within the classes where they're there to meet people. Just be aware that it exists. I mean, it exists everywhere. Like people are trying to find each other for sure. It's just, if people are there just to train and to study, maybe like that's what they're there for. So you don't make it about you and your need of finding a mate. I met my wife in the improv world, but I wasn't her teacher and I wasn't in her class. We just happened to meet. There's a little bit of a faction within the improv world where it's like short form versus long form, or Dalclosian versus Johnstonian. It doesn't need to be there. It doesn't exist. It doesn't need to exist, but it does. Where people thumb their nose at different versions of the same art. Short form versus long form. Short form to short form games in order to engage the audience quickly, get them on the same page, a lot of explaining how games work. Long form is kind of like you just get a suggestion, you do a 30-minute show. Some people think that that's long in the tooth and you're not entertaining, and the short form people think, and the long form people think that short form is beneath them and it's pandering. So there's an awareness. There's factions within improv, and just so that you're aware of it. Yeah, and then guru worshiping, where it's Dalclosian versus Johnstonian. It's not needed. To me, the debate is ridiculous. It's like short form versus long form. It's all a style and aesthetic. Some people like short form, some people like long form, some people are okay with doing both. I mean, I had to learn both. It is all valuable. If you learn both, you'll take both and use them to your advantage as yourself as a comedian. But if you just like one style, it's okay just to do the one style, but it doesn't have to be a debate. Improv, it's hard to capture what it is. It's hard to copyright what it is you create. But recognizing that format is the art, so don't take people's formats and take from them and pilfer them. I mean, we all train to study certain formats. There's no real valid ownership of anything in improv, which makes it hard at times, especially when you're trying to create a name for yourself in a certain style. This goes for stand-up too, but more in improv, where it's kind of like everyone's trying to be a guru. I know more. It's about knowledge base, so it's like how much more do I know? And there can be a little bit of the ownership of knowledge and a little bit of intensity within that. So that's something to be aware about with the improv world. I mean, stand-up has it as well. Some people can just be like standoffish and just be like, I know everything. I know it all. You have to bow at my altar. Just be aware that some have the guru complex, the individual that knows all. It's silly and stupid. You can tell them I said that. The pros to improv. There's many pros. Improv is a lovely, generous art form, which allows you to make a lot of mistakes and take a lot of risk because there's more people. Because people are there to help you and try to get your objectives out and to work with one another too, in order to create a better show. So it can be a really positive experience, and help you become a way better, understand yourself in a moment, like quickly. So there's more people. More people means more butts in the seats. I think it's The Art of War once said that if you want to get there quick, but go by yourself. If you want to be able to go and keep going, go with a group. So there you go. A little bit of tidbit from Sun Tzu. He ruined my brother-in-law, but get great training. The training is like you're learning acting, you're learning writing, you're learning directing, you're learning how to be spontaneous, you're learning all of that. It's so much knowledge. There's such a knowledge base to it, and it's amazing once you can start running in it. Risking and taking risks on stage is a lot easier because you have people backing you up, helping you facilitate your ideas. Because everyone kind of gets a turn to get their ideas out and to have fun. So you have a group of people that are trying to think as one and trying to push each other to their best. Oh, in improv, audience is more forgiving just because they recognize that you're making it up on the spot. So they allow you to just take a few minutes to set up your scene, to get the chairs where they need to be, to make the environment what it needs to be. There's more forgiveness in improv. They know that it's not going to be perfect. They're there to watch you be spontaneous and be fun and be on a whim and making it up as you go along. Everyone should be able to fit in. It's kind of great. It doesn't matter if you're a person who's a shiny, kind of funny, goofy person with a lot of energy, or if you're low-key and you're kind of just stealthy and you're good at understanding how to edit or a knowledge base and you're kind of more of a computer type person. So there's room for everyone to participate and play, and it should be accepting of all. So if I had some tips, I'd look for some great classes. There's some great classes online. You can learn anywhere now and getting your classes in there. There's some great classes at the Magnet or at the Pit in New York. Some great classes in LA at UCB. The IO is no longer. That's where I trained, but it is no longer. It's closed down. The Second City has some improv. The Loose Moose Theater in Calgary. There's a lot of improv out there, and you can actually find a lot of it online right now. Some really cheaper, if you want to get in with some names and try to get some really great knowledge, it's a great time to do it just because there's classes everywhere for not just improv, but sketch and writing and all of it. So this is a great time to do that. Trying to be open is great, but you should get a book and a journal, start journaling, because the information you're going to learn, you're going to want to share with a team, and that team might not be totally aware of how things work. So you can write things down and help people explore the art of improv and share your notes. Taking notes is really valuable. You'll go back and you'll look, because you're not the same. You're on a journey. I really think journaling is one of the key things for not just stand-up, not just sketch, but improv as well. It's not hard to find some really good improvisers. Maybe you can even see them. Like check out. There's some. I'll put some down. There's some Ass Cats that are great to watch. That's kind of the Armando Diaz format. That's just more liberal, or I guess less constraints. I shouldn't say liberal, but less constraints. Yeah. So there's a lot out there. So educate yourself. I'll have some more on improv in future videos, but right now that's pretty much it. So I hope you found this entertaining. I hope you found it educational. If there's something you want to learn about improv, please let me know down below. And I'll see you in the next one. Here's some videos you should check out.
Thank you for watching Aaron Merke in Character. On this channel, I share my life passions of character acting, comedy, and helping other people find their voice. Consider subscribing and liking this video if you liked it.